sorry. I'm kinda in the middle of something. Oh. This is... In that case... Hold, I need a favor. Think you could let my friend through just this once? After all, you still owe me.
Fine. But I don't want to hear anything about the catch-up packet incident ever again. And he's on his own if he runs into the guards downstairs.
You're the best, Hold.
Let the record show that subject 23K's cause of death was not about that. Oh well, I suppose it could have been worse.
What's this I hear about you ordering more tests performed with sample 4157? Is that back?
I tell you what. We'll check.
Spacer's Choice Pilot.
The dissidents actually.
Real atmosphere contaminants.
Why can't something exciting happen around here for once? If I spit, think I can hit that mechanical down there?
You'll get in trouble.
No, I won't. I'll blame it on you.
Try anti-queer. It's better than nature.
If you don't, you have a message from Adjutant Sophie.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You have something I want. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us. He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger every... You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a trace. Don't worry. I'm sending you...
Adjutant Akonde's call has been terminated. We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate? Dr. Wells, you have a message from...
I'm impressed, Captain. Your signal made it through. Come visit me in Byzantium. Because I'm not in the business of arresting my own ally. Meet me...
Adjutant... We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
not into block mining.
You must be joking.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. Halcyon is on the... Malnutrition is all... I know this must come as a surprise.
Guess Monarch folk ain't the only ones fucked around here. That ain't exactly an uplifting thought.
I know your face. Stellar Base... Monarch may harbor delusions of independence, but make no mistake. You are...
Adjutant Akande, as much of an honor as it is to make your acquaintance, I must say I am gravely disappointed. Protecting the colony was your duty.
I share your disappointment, Vicar DeSoto. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak will. I won't pretend the truth. We need to talk about You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Adelaide McDevitt and her people have... Edgewater needs to go.
I will hunt beasts until I'm out of ammunition, and then I'll fight a good long while after. But I am not about to mow down a crowd of innocent people.
Then I suggest you find your courage. Or pretend you're hunting beasts.
I cannot condone this plan. Wanton, senseless destruction of life is never the solution.
I don't need you to approve of my plan, Vicar. I need you to get it done. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. You replaced a loyal, if hard-headed, town leader with a revolutionary. Adelaide's people have turned these people. Because we were negligent. I'm not. Don't fool yourself. Grant. No. Steal your. Edgewater. You. There was an accident at the Emerald in. The insurance claim has been locked in committee. What? I would never. What? I like you, Captain, but you're not worth it. Report.
You know, I've been assuming this entire stay on your ship thing isn't a permanent arrangement. Part of my contract? That said, you ain't been eaten or shot to death yet. Says a lot about the stability of your future. And to be honest, I'm about sick of sleeping on bar stools. So how's about this? You keep letting me stay on that ship of yours, and I'll keep shooting at the things you point at. Outstanding.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. What's occupied?
We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
security patrol initiated.
When I was stranded in Emerald Vale, I simulated a number of hypothetical scenarios in which Edgewater met its demise. Death by automechanical was number 57. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Do we really need all this?
I've just been informed that the problem of... You should be proud of yourself, Captain. I've made arrangements for you. Once... I have the highest faith in your abilities, Captain.
We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from... You'll have to connect me to the Hope. If your calculations are even slightly for the sun. Stay safe out there. Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found. I find myself glad to have no olfactory system.
I hate when I step in blood or unidentified things.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake... Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computers. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. And also potentially kill an... Wait, I mean... Are you... Are you sure? Standing? Are you... Probably not, but don't let that stop you. Searching. Are you sure? That is... And all... Jump starting?
Oh no. Captain, don't do this. I ain't dying on a fucking ship. I'm gonna die in the dirt like we're meant to.
Doing it. I'm...
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a mic?
That is what my cap...
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive.
Yes.
You should not be doing this.
Thank you, Hope. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Tartarus's orbit. The board has initiated contact. I believe they're eager to speak with you once you've returned to the ship.
We're alive! We made it! I, never had any doubts.
What's up?
You have a message from Adjutant. Captain, you have a...
Attention, Captain of the Unreliable. This is Chairman Rockwell. I'm on Tartarus and, we need your help. That crackpot scientist has caused a riot among the prisoners and unpaid laborers. It's a law-damned bloodbath down here. As if that weren't enough, he's gone and taken Sophia hostage. I'm not gonna mince words. The situation is dire. I need your help. case, Captain. We're losing... There are...
Captain, as it appears, I believe...
Doc Wells went and started a genuine prison riot. Didn't think the old man had it in him.
I'm not convinced this isn't a trap. We ought to keep an eye on each other in there.
Captain, your service to the board has been invaluable. If you wish to claim your rightful place in Byzantium, you must help them crush the riots in the Labyrinth.
I still think working for the board was a mistake from the start.
Whatever may await you. Waiting on your... Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we... Please be advised... Oh, speak...
You're the backup, right? From Akande? These bloodthirsty sprat bags have no Good. Last we heard, he was in the... Their biometric ID? I'm never... All right, but if...
Transmission terminated. How can I be of... See you soon. Stay safe out there.
Keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Entering the labyrinth's the easy part. Making it back out. I'm still trusting your plan on that one, Captain.
Whew. We have a lot of shooting to do, Captain.
MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight! Then I'm gonna piss in it.
Bill, you're not shooting the chairman, and you're not... What was that?
Everything in my life has been leading him to this point. I believe I'm ready for this.
Take a breath now, Bill. Once we're out there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
When I pulled you out of the Hope, I never imagined you'd turn me over to the board. Planting a bug in my terminal? That's low. We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan. I revive you, you do as I say. I tell you to go there, get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say. If you'd just listened to me, we could have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But you didn't listen. No one in this damn colony ever listens. Ha! No, of course not. You're the deadly... What? Calm down, huh? This... I've... If you insist on interfering... So am I. I've programmed the labyrinth. You...
Die, you traitor!
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. You were right to put him down. He was too far gone to be of any use to us. And what about you? You aren't hurt, I hope. I'm not hurt. You've put down the worst riot in our history. We don't have a moment. We've lost all contact with Earth. 2 years ago.
So we've got to make do on our own.
We must find a way.
First the food supply, and now this.
Get a hold of yourself, Vicar. We're alone, Cap. Yes, we do have a... You're the... It's time... I'm pleased. We're all...
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the Board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the Board asserted their control over the colony. The Lifetime Employment Program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the Board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. The Board's focus on Byzantium closed the door on much of Sanjar's civil liberties movement. As the last few townships withered away, MSI had little room to grow. Ever the savvy businessman, however, Sanjar pivoted and established Stellar Bay as the colony's supplier of luxury seafood. Catering to the elite, MSI was allowed to continue operations as a member of the Halcyon Board, and became more successful than Sanjar could ever have dreamed. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Over the years, the ruins of Edgewater caused irreversible environmental damage to the landscape of Emerald Vale, owing largely to the presence of toxic compounds in the town's building materials. As for Edgewater's former workers, their remains provided a source of nourishment for the region's fauna, leading to an explosion in the sprat population. Junlei Tennyson struggled to maintain the Groundbreakers' independence. Mechanical failures forced her to make increasingly uncomfortable compromises to stabilize her ship. The Board bought her out of the Groundbreaker one deck at a time. While she kept the ship intact, her role as captain became a symbolic one. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the Lifetime Employment Program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. The abandoned research facility on Gorgon remained a place of chaos, a draw for smugglers looking for salvage, and ill-fated freelancers hoping for a payday. Minnie Ambrose never got what she wanted from the Gorgon asteroid. The secrets of the old Spacer's Choice project were forever outside of her reach. In time, she abandoned the family estate, determined to seek her fortunes elsewhere in the colony. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. As the board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon. And so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. Max eventually rose to the top, becoming the presiding bishop of the OSI. He denounced his spiritual meanderings as a misguided attempt to come to terms with his long-dead parents. His only regret was that they had not lived long enough to see that he was right all along. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. As the board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was plagued by dreams of freezing to death. She began taking increasingly longer shore leaves, and she eventually disappeared from the Unreliable entirely. The board never knew what became of her, and under the adjutant's orders, they never tried to find out. Parvati was afforded a measure of peace and left to her own devices. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the Unreliable supply closet to this day. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the lifetime employment program. While the rest of Byzantium celebrated, Sophia returned to work by partnering with you. The two of you worked hard to ensure the lifetime employment program ran smoothly. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The lifetime employment program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? After the riots on Tartarus came to an end, you threw in your support with Sophia Akande. While Akande administered the board herself, you oversaw the lifetime employment program, stamping out corruption and negligence. Under your leadership, the program ran smoothly. Halcyon's workers were treated with a modicum of dignity. Your involvement kept the board honest and allowed the board scientists to work without the meddling of bureaucracy. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.